everyone? This is Ian Miller,
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Tonight, we actually have a slew of topics to talk about. We have a big one, obviously, but let's just get to the little ones first. Now, as many of you know, we've had a very exciting Star Wars related announcements this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
A new show and a couple of other movie announcements. So, while we get into those right now.
Yeah. One of them that was brought up was the Ahsoka trailer
Hmm.
with um Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka. For all of you that remember, all of you Mandalorian and Boba Fett fans out there, she was in the Mandalorian for a few episodes. And you witnessed that big lightsaber fight where she had the two what was it, white lightsabers, I think. Was that even a real thing? Um, and then yeah, and then I didn't really see Book of Boba Fett, so I didn't really know her part
Hmm.
was in there. I don't know if you saw it, right?
Yeah, sorry to start.
Okay, so yeah, I gotta watch that to see what her part was in it. Yeah, and the trailer I thought was pretty interesting. It actually looked really good.
Yeah.
Um, forget this takes place. When does this take place again?
I'm
Uh,
pretty sure it takes place where Mandalorian is, which is obviously after Return of the Jedi. I'm pretty sure of that.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not sure when exactly it takes place, like how many years or month. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to see this show. And then you have making his, well, it's her live action debut, but it's also Grandmaster Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn, I should say, uh,
Yes.
his live action debut as well.
Yes, many of you people know him obviously from the Star Wars trilogy books that was all about the Thrawn trip. So you guys met him in the books. You guys have been wanting him, to have a live action, appearance, and here it is. And if you read those books, you will know that he actually faced off against our original heroes. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen this time around, but still, you're getting a live action Thrawn. How cool is that?
That's all. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, obviously, you know him more than I do, obviously, but I told you this yesterday that I would really like to see um what it would be like for Thrawn to face off against these three guys, Luke, Leia, and Han.
Well, all your imaginations, unfortunately. Maybe a comic book or two, you never know.
So for people out there whoever doesn't know, where can they find this series or books, I should say,
Well,
where they face off against them?
you can certainly find it on Amazon.
There
There's a whole trilogy there. Just type in Star Wars: The Thrawn trilogy, and there you have it. In fact,
you
I
go.
can probably look up the title books right now just to give you an idea of what they're called.
I'm sure we'll get a picture of that in a minute.
Yes. Yes, I have it from the Amazon, good people at Amazon.
So while he gets that up and running, I am also excited that Hayden Christensen will be back as Darth Vader. Um, oh, there it goes.
Yeah. The first book is Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command.
That looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you haven't read these books and just curious about them, take a look. All right. Because it's a very good set. You don't want to miss it.
There you go. You can find it on Amazon. The Thrawn trilogy. So definitely have to look that up. Hope you all do that too. And like I was saying, I'm glad that Hayden Christensen is back as Darth Vader or Anakin. I don't know specifically
Yeah,
who he's gonna play. I'm
yeah,
sure it's gonna be Darth Vader.
yeah. I'm sure of that too. There's also been some confusion whether we're gonna get another season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I
Hmm.
think that has been discussed, but it's not confirmed.
Yes, I saw yesterday that they were. It could happen, but as of right now, they are not in active discussions for season two.
Yeah,
We may not be getting that for a little while.
yeah. But would you guys be interested in season two of Obi-Wan?
I mean, for me, I mean, I would be, but let us know. If you want to see a season two of Obi Wan.
Yeah, I did enjoy only certain episodes of Obi-Wan. I
Hmm.
thought the whole of it, I was like, okay, this was great, but maybe this was not necessary. But I did change my mind when I did see a couple of the episodes where I had Vader in there because you
Hmm.
need some closure for that relationship. Because you kind of need to see Obi-Wan need to see what he's become.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that that was a good. How should I say it? That was a good way to, I guess, it was a good way for him to see, like you said, what he has become, and that his friend, who he's known for years, you know, who's like his
Mentored,
brother,
trained. Yeah,
yeah, who's like his brother is no longer there anymore.
yeah. And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to accept for him, but unfortunately, he has to accept it.
Yeah, and then at the end of that, you see him call him Darth, which you saw Obi-Wan call him in the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that kind of got emotional for me a little bit.
Well, yeah, because it already harkens back to obviously the original trilogy. Because
Yeah.
just say what you want about the prequels and all that. The original trilogy is always going to have a special place for me because that's what introduced us to this world, these characters, and we
Hmm.
just wanted to just go into that world and just be with those characters.
Yeah, I know. But overall, you know, I mean, I agree with you. Overall, the series was good. I mean, it was okay. Um, I mean, like you said, there were some parts probably weren't necessary, you know, to put in there. But I mean, again, I'm glad they did it overall. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, whether we needed it or not, I'm really glad they did it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay,
And
so there's
yeah,
that.
yeah, and then one more thing on this one. Um, they put out there a couple days ago or 2 days ago, whatever day it was, that Ray from the sequel trilogy is actually coming back for a future Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
What movie that will be, we don't know, but I heard she will be a Jedi Master in that one. So
she was
that's,
obviously one of the best characters in the sequel trilogy.
I agree.
Obviously, this the whole trilogy just was around her character, but she was one of
Hmm.
the best. And Daisy, the actress, played her beautifully. And maybe we'll forget that the Force Awakens was her first real big picture.
Hmm.
And I remember watching the auditions, and I was like, damn, she's just blowing everybody away. And I'm like, like, she's gonna get this. She's gonna get this. So I'm very pleased to see her back. Because even at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, you knew her story was far from over.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We didn't know what was going to happen, whether she ended her character there, in Rise of Skywalker, but clearly they're not done with her. So
Now,
I'm very interested to see now where her story goes from here.
yeah, just excited.
I mean, us major Star Wars fans, I mean, we're always excited for a new adventure. So
Absolutely. Okay, so those are Star Wars news. Let's get to the big topic tonight. They also revealed another trailer.
that was the Captain Marvel one, right? Well, it was, yeah,
Well, it wasn't quite big, but it was kind of a sneak peek.
yeah,
Or what we saw from that video was there was a deep space message. At least that's where we got the gist of that. We're not going to
yeah.
get full trail until actually tomorrow, which is going to be April 11th.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's going to be exciting right there because we've been curious to see what's going to happen with the Marvels,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they're all three of them going to be in this movie is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then um, you hear a voice in there which sounded like Nick Fury. So now, since now he's in Secret Invasions, I guess his character or what's ever going to happen in Secret Invasions is going to lead his character into the Marvels, wherever he ends up in that show.
Yeah, we don't quite know exactly where the Marvels is actually going to be in the timeline, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It could take place before Secret Invasion or after. We don't know.
No, that's true.
We
Yeah.
don't know what Nick Fury's fate is going to be after that series. So that's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully they don't kill him off, but you never know.
After all these years, I'm still glad that Samuel L. Jackson still wants to play Nick Fury. You
Yeah,
know?
it's one of his better roles, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, some of his franchises, like the what was it, Hitman's Bodyguard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, there was two of those movies, but he really didn't have like a set franchise until these Marvel movies. So
oh, he did have Shaft, but that was really belongs to somebody else.
true.
It belongs to the
True.
great Richard Roundtree.
Yes, it does. It does. But yeah, I mean, I'm still excited. He still wants to do this. He's still up for it.
Yeah,
No one can play Nick Fury like he does. So
yeah,
that's that's really awesome that he can that he can still do it at his age. So
yeah. So my hands off to him. Uh, got a lot of respect for you, Samuel Jackson.
absolutely. So Sam, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep playing Nick Fury for us.
As long as you want.
All right. So I know you want to lead us into this last big one that we
Mhm.
have here. So take it away.
Well, we had a second trailer for what I think is one of the best franchises in Hollywood, and that is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Interesting enough, we get a sense of where Indy is in this trailer than we did in the first one. This takes place in 1969, and Indy is, retiring after a very long career in archaeology. And his goddaughter comes in and sort of, brings him into a problem that she has and turns his life upside down.
Mm-hmm.
As in connection with the Dial of Destiny, that he and her father, played by Jones, had discovered in World War II. But it turns out the the film's main villain is also looking for the Dial of Destiny because he wants to undo a lot of the stuff that happened during the war and to make a better place in this world. Except he is a former Nazi. And that's not good for Indy. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's very interesting to see where the trailer goes because the film clearly shows, you know, what our hero is like in this place and time that he's clearly lost in.
Mm-hmm.
Because things don't make sense anymore because you have Nazis part of the ex-Nazis, part of the, Rocket program, because if ever you remember the history books, Operation Paperclip was to, recruit some of the former scientists from the Germans to work
Right.
on, their NASA program, so they could beat the Russians to going into space. And it's also cathartic that it's in 1969 because that's where Apollo 11 went to the moon. We have a lot of the space age stuff going on,
Hmm.
and yeah, so it is not quite sure how where he fits in this time in this world. And everything was always black and white for him. There was good guys and there was bad guys. Now it's a world of gray. The lines are blurred. So it's very interesting to see that, but I have a feeling he's going to come through on this, on the other side without a scratch. Metaphorically speaking.
I mean, w- when you say that, it's like with him, we saw how, you know, when he was done with Han Solo, that he wanted to be killed off.
Yeah,
So I get, I'm hoping like this series means more to him than I guess anything else. So he doesn't want his character to get killed in this show.
I
And I
think
mean this movie.
I think it does mean more to him because I think he's had more fun doing Indiana
Hmm.
Jones. Not to say
Hmm.
he didn't have fun doing the Star Wars films, but I think he had more fun doing it Indy because this was a more grounded character, even though
Hmm.
some of these fantastic things happen.
Hmm.
And you saw more layers in this character than you did in Han Solo, especially with the relationship with his dad, and the relationship with his own son, which I love
Hmm.
more film. So, yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean absolutely. I mean you've seen what he's gone through in past films of Indiana Jones, not Star Wars. Um with all the adventures that he's taken, um and if I were him, I would have a lot of fun doing it too, going on all those history stuff and you
yeah,
know archaeology and all that stuff. And you know, you see what he was like with his father in one of the movies, played by Sean Connery. Um,
great Sean Connery.
the great Sean Connery. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would think that all these years, the first one was what? The first one started in
The first one
then
started in 1981, took
81.
place, yeah, and took place in 36.
Okay, so yeah, so after 30 plus years of 40 plus years,
Yeah,
40 plus years of doing it at Jones, I mean, I would think he would want his character to retire and just, live a well, we don't know if he's still married or not in this movie.
I
So,
yeah, it's very confusing because the opening shot for the trailer is just sitting in his apartment in front of the television, and he's
mhm,
looking up. We don't know what's happened to Marion. We don't know. I'm hoping nothing bad. I'm hoping they didn't split up because I actually like them together.
mhm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I hope not either, but, we'll have to see, but hopefully they're still together or something,
Yeah,
um but yeah, like I said, it's just to play that character for 40 plus years, you know, for him it has to be just an honor for him to keep playing it. And I mean, I wouldn't want him dead. I mean, I wouldn't want his character to die in the movies at all, since you know it's one of the best franchises out there, and no one else can play Indy like he can. So no one, well, I should say, no one else should play Indy.
yes.
So he should just retire as a character. So um I mean, I hope this last adventure for him, just ends on a happy note. And Let's see where this movie takes us.
Yeah, maybe I'll ride off into the sunset again, like in Last Crusade.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Okay, since we've had four films and the fifth one's going out in June, let's actually talk about our favorite moments from these films.
Hmm.
Obviously, let's start with number one. There's so many good moments
I,
for this film.
yeah, I was just thinking about that. I mean, there's really, I don't know. I don't know if you can really just pick one, you know?
I think I could. I think I'm gonna get 10. It's the scene where he's, running in the jungle, getting to the plane, and
Hmm.
he's jumping to the route. To
Hmm.
me, that's the first time we heard the Indiana Jones theme for the very first time, and I'm like, that has to be a favorite moment because that's when you know you're in for an exciting movie. You're already in an exciting movie, when you saw, the Rolling Stone coming after him. But when you
Yeah.
heard the theme song, you just knew. And once again, that was composed by the great John Williams, who was, doing his doing this final indie film. So yeah,
Yeah.
that has to be my favorite moment from that movie.
Wow. I mean, it's been a little bit since I saw the movie. I guess I would just have to say I would pretty much just say the opening shot of the movie would be my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, when they're mimicking the Paramount,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that was all Steven Spielberg.
No, of course. I mean that, just the opening shot and everything, just getting a good look at him in it as Indy, and then, just I don't know, it just kind of got me. I guess the reason I picked it was just it kind of got me hooked from there,
Yeah,
and um, yeah, I mean, just pretty much that's what stood out to me the most, and um, just yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say except just it just got me hooked from there.
yeah.
Like I said,
Okay, Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. Right. So, wow. Um,
Yeah, I know it's gonna take a minute.
yeah, it's gonna take a minute. Why don't you start on this one again? Because it's gonna take me a minute.
It has to be the big fight, between towards the end with the big guy,
Hmm.
and he's getting, stabbed in the back with a voodoo doll by the prince, and yeah, beats up the prince, takes out the spike, the
Yeah.
dagger from Indy's back, and Indy's back, and he's just punching the bad guy. I, that has to be one of my favorite fights because they actually they didn't choreograph that. They just kind of made it up punch by punch, shot for shot.
Hmm.
That's just so clever. And it makes sense if you think about it because it works better than it's design choreographed because, it's spontaneous.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, for me, wow. So many good parts in that movie. I guess I'd have to go with the guy that was in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
Um, the the kid in the movie. I guess his relationship in the between him and Indy in that film,
yeah,
um, I guess would probably stand out to me as one of my favorite parts of the movie.
yeah. I would agree with that because you get this sense that Indy could be a father at some point,
Yeah, I
uh,
agree.
and
Like,
until Mud actually came into the picture, you know, this was
yeah,
he had to a son.
yeah, I agree. Let's see. I think there was something else there. I don't know. I think I just lost my train of thought. But yeah. I mean, it's like you said. I guess it was him just starting out, or not starting out, but just seeing him with him. You could just think to yourself, you know, I mean, he could actually be a father someday.
Yeah,
In the future, and what he was like with him. So that kind of stood out for me, pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. That was a very good character development there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Last Crusade, which is actually one of my personal favorites, along with Raiders.
So for me, I guess since you went the last two times,
Yeah,
um, for me, I guess it would just have to be the relationship between him and his father. Um, I guess trying to rescue him, right?
yeah,
I think it was he trying to rescue him, and then working side by side with each other. Just you can see the relationship. Well, not at first,
yeah,
but as you could just see as the movie went on, seeing each other again. Just you could pretty much see that relationship grow as the movie went on.
yeah. I agree with that. The, there's actually two things I should do. Like, aside from like looking the whole movie,
Hmm.
um, there's the tank scene. Where Indy's obviously trying to save his dad Marcus from the bad guys, and there's that whole fight on the top of the tank,
Hmm.
and he's just trying to save his dad with the whip. Because that's what to pull off.
Yeah.
And then when the tank goes over and Henry thinks that Indy went over with the tank, and he's just like, I wasn't ready. I I never told him anything. And then when Indy comes up, there's just this huge overwhelming thing where like where they embrace and
Yeah.
like I thought our launch show was like it's so well done and it's very well acted and it's just fantastic.
I agree. I mean, pretty much the whole movie is all well. This whole movie and then the series was just well done by Spielberg. Um, and I'm glad that Marcus is actually no, I'm sorry. It's my apologies. Hold on one second. Um, the guy that actually played Sala in this movie is actually coming back for
Yeah,
this
yes, loved him in Raiders. Thought he was a great addition to Last Crusade.
one.
Really missed in Temple of Doom, and yeah, I'm very glad that he's in Dial of Destiny.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about which I cannot believe this is controversial. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, before we get into the favorite scenes, I'm just going to say this: I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'll tell you why. Because it took place in the 50s, and if you had grown up in the 50s, there was a lot of B, sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Totally fits in there. It totally fits. If you take out the aspect of the aliens in there, you totally get a classic Indiana Jones adventure. So I want no negative reviews about it in the comments.
Listen to him, folks. He's serious. He has a serious face.
This is my serious face. This is my serious face.
That's
Serious.
his.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You were smiling when you made the serious face.
Okay, the favorite moment from this movie.
Um, favorite moment. Wow. Wow. I don't know. I guess. Well, I can tell you a funny moment when I'll get back to the favorite moment in a minute.
Mm,
Um, one of the funny moments was when he didn't know he was his son yet,
Mm,
but he met Mutt, and then they were actually on the bike driving and trying to get past those guys, and then when they get into the library, they slide under the table,
yeah.
and then one of his students asks him a question.
And he's like, if you want to be a good archaeologist, you gotta get out of the library. Like, you're totally right, Dr. Jones.
So I think that one stood out to me as one of the funny moments in that movie.
Yeah. Okay. I guess
That's a funny moment. I'll come back to the favorite moment in a minute. So on to you.
okay. Favorite moment is when Indy is being pulled out of the trunk of the army car, and everyone's
Mhm.
got their machine guns on because they know how dangerous he is. And then, he picks up the head off the ground and you see the silhouette. You're like, oh, Indy's back. And John Williams is playing the theme in the background. You're like, oh, Indy's back. Indy's back.
Of course that would be your favorite moment.
Yeah, because it he wears the hat so well. He wears the hat so well.
He does. He does. Favorite moment. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Just in the beginning, that would have to be a favorite moment because after all these years, or after all those years between um Last Crusade and this one, King Crystal Skull, you see him get out of the car and then you see him actually pick up the hat,
Yeah,
put it back on after all these years, and like Jones is back.
yeah, yeah. So those are your favorite moments from all four movies. Well, I'm sure we'll have a favorite moment when we see the fifth one, and we'll tell you what that is after we do a review of that. So the film comes out on June 30th. Um, I've already been told that it's gotten very good reviews for
Hmm.
I actually did actually see it, so
Hmm.
that's very promising. But again, when you got a director like Marigold, you're gonna get something good.
Yeah, I'm actually afraid to look at the Rotten Tomatoes review. So
No, 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 no. If anything, folks, just rely on your own review. Rely on your own review. That's all.
no, definitely. You see the villain in this one played by Mikkelsen, who was actually in the James Bond movies.
Mm,
Um, plays a really great bad guy. So um, I'm sure he'll do a really great job. Um, I I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, James Mangold is definitely a great director. I mean, you saw him do the last Wolverine movie. Um, but the thing you have to ask yourself is, I mean, I know you can't compare the two directors, but how will this movie fare against all the other movies that Steven Spielberg has done? But
yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
you can't compare the two directors.
yeah. I know many people wanted Steven to return to the director's chair, but I think at that point you just wanted something to do something creatively different, which is understandable
Mhm.
because you don't want to, do the same thing over and over again. But
Yeah, I agree.
either way, I'm just looking forward to this last adventure with Indy. I'm gonna look forward to it to seeing it with my best friends. So
Yeah, absolutely. You have, Antonio Banderas in this movie, and then obviously, like I said, Sala in this movie. Whether Marion is in this movie, we do not know. They
yeah,
haven't released that yet, or if they will, I don't know. We'll have to see the movie. But yeah, it's should be a really great movie, and I can't wait to see it with you guys.
yeah,
So it should be a fun time for his last ride. Um, but yeah, like I said, it should be a great movie,
yeah. And
like you said.
yeah. Before we end, I'd like to mention two things. One, I have seen John Wick 4. My friend has not seen it because he hasn't watched the John Wicks, so I can't really give a spoiler review. But I will just say this though. It was good. It was very good. Some of the action scenes I felt could have been cut down a bit because some of them were just way too long.
Hmm.
I understand what they were doing, considering this was a 3-hour movie. which is, a lot. But they did get a lot of story in there. So if you guys haven't seen John Wick 4 yet, go ahead and see it. If you had, let me know what you thought about it. Or if you agree the fact that the action scenes were a bit long. Again, one final thing is this was mentioned by my other friend, our other friend, Andrew Filler, who works on Broadway, as you well know. This week is actually the end of Phantom of the Opera. That's right, it's ending its 30 plus year run on Broadway at the Majestic Theater. I know a lot of fans are very upset about this. I'm actually relieved because it's had a good run, and my mom has actually had some personal history with the show. She's done
Hmm.
the makeup, the special effects makeup for the Phantom, for two Phantoms, in fact. And I have a love-hate relationship with this musical because a certain sibling, which I will not name, they know who they are, played the soundtrack not once, not twice, but many, many, many times. Killed the musical for me, killed the musical for my parents, and probably anyone in close range of the sibling. You know who you are. But I love the sibling to death, and I made them a special, audio drama Phantom of the Opera, the musical, when I gave them the graphic novel version. I just did
Hmm.
the graphic novel version, which is beyond me. But yeah, it's ending its run at the 30 plus years. And thank you, Phantom, and thank you for haunting Broadway. And see you later.
Well, I know you're happy about that. So, but after a long run, I guess it's finally coming to an end.
Yeah. And we're coming into an end now. So, Z Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Miller Smith. Have a good night, folks.
Night, guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.